right, welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the Monday Night Recap. Got a lot to go over tonight for sure. Couple things, I kind of like to always kind of start out with, the stuff that's going on for the week. Let me get over to the chat here real quick. There we go. So what I would, remember. What we're doing tonight is going over the weekly watch list. If you're new, I say subscribe to it, okay? Obviously, I'm as biased as they get, but it's free. It's in your inbox. So I always start out with that link because, that's the core of what we're talking about. The idea is you get the watch list on Sunday. We kind of offer some commentary, break it down, go over the plan for the week, etc. And, again, it's free. It's in your email. I mean, I spend a couple hours on it every weekend. So, hopefully you find some value in that. So, welcome, Mark. Welcome, Merch. Cody Snodgrass, Doughboy Destroyer. Doughboy Destroyer. I like that username. Welcome, Raina, I think. But anyway, welcome everyone. So check out the watch list. Some of the other stuff I want to mention to you is I just finished a new ebook. Would like you to check it out. Again, it's free. Okay. Let me drop that link in chat as well. It's short, it's concise, it's to the point, and it's free, okay? It's up to you, drop your email in there, get it for free. Would love to let you check it out. I mean, let me know. I've many of you know, I've had this goal of being a writer forever. I've always enjoyed writing. I'll admit I've struggled to kind of get complete books out there, but just wrap this up. The link's in chat. If you're not here live, the link will be below. But check it out. It's just a quick how-to on, and again, it's not all inclusive. I mean, this isn't like the penny stock encyclopedia, okay? It's not like it's 10,000 pages of trading. If I remember right, it's 30, 40 pages, talks about what we're looking for, talks about scans, talks about chart patterns. So check it out. Again, it's free. Last thing I do want to mention is to Wednesday night, I'm doing a webinar with Michael Hudson. Okay, if many of you might be familiar with Michael Hudson, so he is a great guy. I mean, Huddy as he's known is an incredible young trader. I mean, this guy. What I love about this guy is I met him, I would say 3 years ago, maybe 4 years now. It's been a while. But, man, and he started, what's so cool about Huddy is, I mean, he started out with I believe, don't quote me on this, I believe a $25 Robinhood account, okay? And, he was in college, he wanted to learn trading, and again, I mean, it's man, a $25 Robinhood account, how do you get started? But that's where he started. And he's evolved a ton since I first met him. So the cool thing is he's much more short biased than I am. I used to be very short biased, but in this day and age with this crazy bull market, I'm much more long biased. But so what we're doing Wednesday night is kind of talking, we're kind of comparing and contrasting the styles. So why you want to short, what you look for to short. I'll be offering a little more commentary on the long side. But now that webinar, and I know I gave you a bunch of free stuff, so don't yell at me, okay? This webinar Wednesday night is only for Stocks to Trade subscribers. Okay, so I gave you a bunch of free stuff, so don't yell at me. But this webinar with Huddy will probably do an hour, maybe an hour and a half. It is only for Stocks to Trade subscribers. So here's a little cheat code for you. If you aren't a subscriber yet, which again, I'm biased, I'm hoping you are. If you aren't a subscriber yet, guess what? You can get the free trial, or not the free trial. You can get the $7 trial, and you can get the webinar. So now, personally, I hope you are already a subscriber. I hope you like it. I hope you've got access to the webinar. But that being said, if you want to cheat, if you want to get the webinar with Huddy and I, you can sign up for the 7-day trial. And if you don't like the software, my thought, listen, I only want you using Stocks to Trade if you love Stocks to Trade. So sign up for the trial, watch the webinar. If you don't love the software, cancel. I don't want you to. But if you don't like it, you can cancel. So anyway, let's get to work. Okay. So number one, Tesla, amazing today. But remember, we're here to talk about the watch list. Kind of a snoozer, really. I chose and remember one of my favorite things, what I want to do, why I'm so passionate about what I do, why I love doing, actually, I think I did, let me check. I think I've done almost 1,900 webinars in Stocks to Trade Pro. Let me log in and let me prove it. 1,868 webinars in almost 4 years. Okay? If you don't think I love talking stocks and teaching stocks, I mean, come on. 1,868 45-minute webinars? That's a lot. So anyway, love what I do, love teaching this stuff. And one of the biggest things we focus on is hot sectors. Hot sectors, man. One of the best ways, especially if you're under the PDT, especially if you have a small account, one of the best ways to trade, one of the best approaches is, listen, only trade when there's a hot sector, or only trade when there's earnings. I mean, I'm guessing most of you have jobs. Most of you have school. Most of you have families. Most of you are probably under the PDT. I mean, I think, and I truly, truly believe this, that day trading and swing trading is the ultimate side hustle. This is the best way to supplement your income, to pay down debt, to learn a skill, okay? But I'll say this, there's not a trade every day. My 5 tickers on the watch list, BIMI was okay, VXRT was okay, but listen, full disclosure, none of these things were awesome today. They were okay. So the idea is, if you build a watch list, you prepare, you get ready, and the pattern doesn't appear, or your buy trigger doesn't appear, you just don't trade. That's why I think trading is the ultimate side hustle. Because you don't have any customers. You don't have any employees. Okay, remember, I was there. I sold my business 7 years ago because I was, employees and customers. One of my favorite sayings, and I probably stole this saying, but I like to think I coined the phrase, but I think I probably took it from somebody. But I've said this for years. Being in business would be awesome if you didn't have customers or employees. But you kind of have to have customers, employees. So anyway, that's why I think day trading is the ultimate side hustle, because you can keep that day job with insurance, with the steady paycheck, and you can trade when the opportunities appear. And let me get to the watch list. VXRT, number one on the list. So right here it is. I mean, I don't need to read it to you. It's on your screen. You probably got it. You better have got it in your email. Because if you're on this YouTube Live, the first thing I do every YouTube Live is tell you to subscribe to the watch list. So the first ticker is VXRT. This was one that was okay today. Not amazing, okay? As I go through these virus plays, I want you to keep them on watch. I want you to be aware, but I am not going to sit here and be like last week. Last week, these things were amazing. This week, so far, not great. Now, I do want you to keep an eye on the sector because the news just keeps getting worse. I mean, I saw a few more headlines. The news flow's not getting better. And I give the disclaimer all the time. I don't want this outbreak to get worse. Last thing I want is for it to get worse. But we're traders. We recognize opportunities. So VXRT was okay into this kind of midday, late day VWAP hold, high a day break. You guys should know that pattern. If this is your first YouTube Live, you might not know that pattern, but it did it. So the VWAP hold high a day break is basically a stock in a hot sector or a stock that has news, spikes early in the day, consolidates around VWAP, and then breaks in the afternoon on volume. And VXRT did that. It broke at 1:30. We normally look for that 2 p.m. window to buy, but I mean, it went as high as 183. Okay. I wish. See, I think, here's the thing. We're 2 or 3 weeks into this coronavirus run. I think a week ago, if there was a pattern like VXRT, I really think this would have been 2+. But this run is getting a little longer in the tooth. And again, I don't want it to get worse. But it kind of feels like we need some extra bad news to keep this run going. And please, I know it's the third time I've said it, but I don't want it to get worse. But I think these coronavirus plays are probably going to track sideways until we get some sort of substantial news. But, several people in Stocks to Trade Pro made 20 cents on this. So, 20 cents a share. Not an amazing pattern, okay? I want to be clear. So, but 20 cents a share, you make a couple $100 trading that. So anyway, back to Stocks to Trade Pro. If you're interested, I just dropped the link in chat. I do 2-a-day webinars every single day, every market open, every market close. So VXRT was probably the best of the day. NNVC did absolutely nothing. Sold off all day. Opened red, gap down, did nada, zero, nothing. CODX, I had much higher hopes. This was the one that had the news into the market close on Friday, and I have to admit, the one I had probably the highest hopes for was CODX. I mean, look at that move on Friday. Look at that 5-minute candle from 280 to 350. I mean, that's a 70-cent move on a $2.50 stock. That's freaking legit. And then it held up in after hours, but faded in pre-market, opened red, faded all day. Now, remember, as I go through all these plays, when you get the watch list, there's a trade plan in there, okay? None of these are dip buys. Do not touch any of these things if they're red on the day. These are all terrible stocks, okay? Every one of these coronavirus plays are terrible companies, terrible stocks. You do not trade terrible stocks that are red on the day. Now, let's talk hypotheticals. What if CODX went green at 2 p.m.? Well, that's a completely different situation. Because now you've got a virus play that's up big that just went red to green after announcing news. Entries, entries, entries. So read the watch list. If you're just taking those tickers coming in on Monday morning and you're like, well, I'm going to cover my eyes, I'm going to buy these tickers. No. Entries matter. Exits matter. CODX was never at any point today, never, ever from 4 a.m. to 8 p.m., it's a NASDAQ stock, it started trading at 4 a.m. till the close at 8 p.m., never was CODX a trade. If it went red to green at 2 p.m., different story. BIMI was decent if you were very fast. Nice little break of Friday's highs into that 945 window that we like. So that's another pattern that I talk about all the time. That previous day's break. And it did it at one of the best times at 945. And it spiked as high as 740. But you had to take profits quickly because this thing sold off and sold off hard. So it's another one where, if I was like full of hyperbole, I could be like, whoa, check out the watch list. I totally crushed it on BIMI. Totally predicted a $2 spike. Blah, 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 blah. I mean, BIMI was another one. Okay, if you took profits quickly, but I don't like it. I mean, one of my favorite patterns for newer traders is stocks that hold up into the afternoon and then spike again, because I think your odds are so much better there. And BIMI didn't do that. So I'm not going to spike the football. I'm not going to be like, oh, great job picking BIMI. Yeah, it spiked $2 a share, but sold off hard, closed red. It's down in after hours. I mean, I wish it didn't do that, but reality is what reality is. LLIT opened red, faded all day. Piece of crap. So, but all my thoughts remain the same. So, I'll jump over for some Q&A. Keep in mind, and I might be wrong. I might be wrong on this, but I still say we're a long way from being done with this coronavirus stuff. I mean, it's just... Now, time will tell. Tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, if these stocks just keep fading and fading and fading, you move on. We're in earnings season, okay? Next week, I expect to have a lot of stocks on earnings watch, 100%. So if this coronavirus hot sector fades, I mean, we got like 500 stocks with earnings this week. I think we got 600 or 700 next week. It's like, if the sector dies, the sector dies. There's always another trade. There's always another opportunity. So, alrighty, let me run through and check out some Q&A, and then we'll get ready for tomorrow. So, your watch list last Sunday made me some money on VXRT. Awesome, Natalie. I spend a couple hours on it every weekend, and awesome, Natalie. Love to hear that. I like the bull and bear pick you chose. Thank you. I didn't choose it. So back to the ebook. It is in chat. It will be below. Thank you. I'm the worst designer in the world. one of the team members picked it. But it's cool. I like it. I like him kind of climbing up the mountain and stuff. So, but I didn't pick it. Wasn't me. Mark Carter, is the ebook have any bias? Mark, it is mostly long bias, Mark. Now, like I said a few minutes ago, the book it's concise, okay? You know, I talked about this when I went live. It isn't a 10,000 page volume of everything about stock trading, okay? That ebook is kind of a beginner's kickstart guide. But Mark, the answer is it's almost entirely long bias. So, can you explain what your trade plan would have been with VXRT late day breakout? Pretending you can't see after the breakout, I turned a winning trade into a losing trade. Joey, great question. Actually, Joey, I talked about this for about 15 minutes in Stocks to Trade Pro. And I can tell you this, on VXRT, had I traded it, now I was recording a podcast when it broke the high of the day. Had I traded this, which this was my number one watch, I would have bought the high of day and I would have stopped out into the close, break even or for a loser. So that you know, and many in Stocks to Trade Pro traded this and did okay. But if I wasn't recording the podcast with Kim and Steven, I would have bought this at the high of the day at 1 o'clock, 1:30, and I would have sold it into the close for break even or a loser. That's what I would have done. So, because I would have thought that had this got going with the news flow, I would have thought that this thing could have ran 2+. So I would have held through that spike to 180, and I would have break even or lost 2 cents or 5 cents a share. Great question though, Joey. So had I hypothetically traded it, I would have lost money. But I still think it's a good setup. So, is it inappropriate to bring my personal laptop to work? Christopher, I think you should be asking your boss that, not me. But yeah, the app will be out soon. Fox says he loves Stocks to Trade. Awesome. So, I know I said soon months ago, I know, but it's still soon. Is Oracle Alerts only for STT subscribers? No, my friends. Oracle Alerts is badass, and it's for anybody. So check it out. I put the link in chat. What do I think about space? I love space. Virgin Galactic. I would look for this closed. So I'm going to wrap up with a few questions here, and then I'm going to get out of here. But space, Virgin Galactic. I'm very bullish. Space. Loved this close today. Look at that power close. This was a VWAP hold high day break too. Look at that. So remember, the VWAP hold pattern, and I know I say it almost every week, early spike, midday consolidation, hold around VWAP, and then break on volume into the 2 p.m. window. I know that was a lot. I know I talked fast. Space was that. But even if you didn't trade space, look at that close. Look at that closing candle. Look at the volume, highest volume of the day, and a new high a day slammed into 4 p.m. Woo! That is the definition of something we look for a red to green the next day. When you get the highest volume candle of the day and the biggest candle of the day. Look at that. Let me zoom in. The 355 candle was the biggest candle of the day, the highest volume of the day, and it was a new high a day. Week open, red to green for 1,000%, especially if the market opens green. And, the SPY was kind of sideways today, but still closed green. So, no, love space as a swing trade. So, who are the best teachers? Who do you recommend? Tim Sykes or Stephen Ducks? Stanley, I love them both. I know them both. They're both great guys. I go way back. This will be the last question. I'll wrap up with this. First of all, Stanley, I'm also a little biased, but you left me off the list. Oh, I'm so hurt, Stanley. You left me off. I was just talking about doing 1,868 webinars. I do a free YouTube live. I do an ebook. I do Instagram lives. And you left me off the list. I'm hurt, Stanley. But I love them both. I go way back with Tim Sykes. I don't know Steven as well, but I've met him a few times. I've hung out with him. Great guy. I guess do your research. That's what I would tell you, Stanley. If you're trying to choose, do your research. Just like you were researching a stock, research a trading mentor. So, but I'm still kind of sad you left me off the list. All right, everyone. Have a great night. Last thing I will leave you on is speaking of the overall markets. The Chinese stock market got destroyed last night, and we still closed green today. I know I end these YouTube lives like this a lot, but we live in incredible times. The market out there, I've been doing this for 15 years. I didn't trade the dot-com boom, okay? So I didn't trade, 98, 99. I was watching the markets, but I was building my business back then. So I was working literally 16 hours a day building a business in 98, 99. So I didn't trade that market, but I've been at this for 15 years every day, and I've never seen a market like this. I mean, nothing can keep the stock market down. Global pandemics, China's stock market, limit down. They banned short selling. Like 75% of the stocks were halted trading. And here we are. The SPY closes up 1%. It's a wild time, man. I'm jealous of all of you. And I'm doubly jealous because you get access to this. I mean, I couldn't go to YouTube Lives in 2007. I couldn't get a free ebook, a free watch list. None of this stuff existed back then. So have a great night, everyone. Thank you again for all the great questions. This is really growing, man. And remember, if I didn't answer your question, it's strictly a time thing. I've been up since 4 a.m. I've done 4 webinars today. I got to get back at it tomorrow. So I like to keep these at a half an hour so I can get my beauty rest. So, but tons of great questions. And if I didn't answer your question, it's strictly a time thing. So look forward to seeing you Monday night. Hit all those links. Get the ebook. If you're an STT subscriber, see you Wednesday night with Huddy. Check out Oracle Alerts. Have a great night, my friends, and we'll see you next time.